Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 48. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zach Huber.
And this is the podcast where we talk about nerd topics from the last week and this week. And this week, we finally have an Echo finale part two review.
The conclusion, the epic saga has come to an end, which is only one episode, but previously we just did.
Well, we did two episodes.
We did two episodes.
Right.
And now
we're doing 3, 4, and 5.
And now, and we also got some cool trailers this week.
Yep.
And we also are going to talk about Bob the Builder, which I didn't think we were going to talk about that, but that's something that we're going to talk about. We're also
some more Roadhouse.
Some more Roadhouse drama, which is, honestly, I can't remember the last time there was this much drama with a movie since.
And their own studio, right?
I don't even, with the studio, I don't know. But since Don't Worry, Darling, remember all that?
Oh,
shit?
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about James Gunn's Superman and then some Naruto news. And you can check everything out. There's time codes if any of that interests you, and this Echo review doesn't interest you first and you don't want to stick around, whatever, but you should, because I think we have some takes about it that we'll get to. So
maybe you've heard them from other people, but we'd like to think they're original to us. So.
But let's get started with the Echo review.
Yes,
the final half.
So go on, you go.
Well, I was just gonna say, so I got to watch 3, 4, and 5, which I was under the impression maybe there was 6 episodes, which to be honest, I'm kind of glad
probably
that there's.
It was originally planned, but they just didn't need it,
Yeah. So I'll say this. It's not a Disney Plus show, but it ran like one. And
what do you mean it's not a Disney Plus show?
Well, I guess it's because I watched it on Hulu, but at this point, you can watch it on Disney Plus. So
yeah,
but it ran like a Disney Plus show, what you would expect to run at this point. And it did the whole thing where we had 15 minutes left to go, and I went, I don't know how you're supposed to wrap all of this story up in 15 minutes, and then it attempted to.
That finale, man.
And I'm trying to think. Okay, so some good things. Let me start with some good things about the show. I liked some of the fights. I liked some of the fights. I liked the Daredevil fights. I think that Echo's action sequences sometimes were good. I think that the grandma was pretty great actress at some points.
Yes.
I like the grandpa.
Correct.
He's a cool character. I think Vincent D'Onofrio was one of the other exciting things about the show.
He was the best part of it.
And maybe I'll think of some more as we go along.
Yeah, but and here's the thing. I think with the grandparents and their intimate conversations, I thought the dialogue was strong. And I think with most scenes Kingpin is in, I think the dialogue is also strong. But yeah, and maybe there's a couple of times they push the envelope with the rated R thing or rated M, where there was a death in episode 3 where I was like, oh, we saw a lot more violence there than a usual Disney death.
Which death are you talking about?
The sleazy guy at the bowling alley. Him getting shot up in episode 3.
Did he just got shot?
Yeah, but he was running away from them, and they just laid some bullets into him, and then he flopped over the counter, and he was all bloody, and I was like, all right, but that was something, It
was something.
Yeah.
that whole bowling scene, bowling alley.
It was so dramatic, but it wasn't. It never got me feeling everything was at a head,
Yeah, that was that episode. that episode, because that's the one where she sees Kingpin at the end, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So that episode is the one where I texted you and I said, this show wants to be this gritty FX like action show sort of thing, like a Sons of Anarchy and like also an extension of Daredevil, but it just never reaches that. Like it tries to do this like dark, cool music, and like they even try to do the Rob Zombie like music in the roller rink, and it's all red, and like I'm like, this looks like it could be a really cool, intense, you know, not that everything has to live up to a Daredevil hallway scene, but like it could be a really cool set piece,
right?
And there could be like building tension, but there just never was any of that. And I didn't feel like if this was a much better show and more engaging to me, and let's say Kingpin comes back like episode 8 of a 10 episodes like season, or 10 of a 12 episode, like I could feel potentially, if it's, you know, I could definitely see that being like that, like, oh shit moment.
Are you saying like the oh shit, or like the oh shit moment where he like shows up at the end?
He shows
like,
up.
Even like the call, like I get what you're saying, like, but I agree with you in that sense, where like even that call that the guy gets, where he's like, where he decides not to kill her uncle or whatever it is, like that is still like, if you hadn't seen Kingpin the whole time and you're just like, oh, that was definitely Kingpin on the other end of that call, I think that is like even more, like way more exciting than it is like if you hadn't seen him. Or if you had seen him, I guess I should say.
Right.
But like, I don't think I could have sat through 8 episodes of this show without Kingpin. Like he was like the driving factor, is why it was good at all.
Yes, but I'm saying if this show was a better show in general, like it was engaging, and then you had like the big bad show up who you think is dead, you know, whatever, that could be. I'm just saying, I could feel they were trying to be like, oh my God, but it's also been, what, 2 episodes since we saw him last?
Well, I think he still showed up in like a flashback or something in episode 2.
Right. So we already knew he was like alive, but like, anyways.
Yeah.
Wasted opportunities there.
Agreed. And before we get any farther in this episode, I want to say how bad I think this intro for the show is.
I skip it every single time. I don't even. Yeah, I don't. It's just
I skipped it the last time finally, but like, damn, it is one of the cheapest looking intros I've ever seen on a show.
And also, why the yeahs like? Why that song? I don't like it. It feels so out of place.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that was already an existing song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. Like the fade in and fade out editing of like people's faces, and like there's just cheap shots that they use, and it's just oh god. And like the final shot of the intro is like them going through her legs, and they focus on like the metal one. It's all so freaking cheesy, and I hate it. I hate it, and I can't believe I watched it 4 times and didn't skip it.
I can't believe you actually did that.
But you know, that kind of leads in. Oops, sorry there. That leads into like the first scene of episode 3, which I thought it started off strong. It went to like another one of her ancestors, if you remember. It was the silent film one.
Which also, yes, it was silent for a moment.
Yes, I was going to point that out.
And then we start getting all these noises, and I'm like, it's like breaking the milieu that they've set up.
Right. I was like, they couldn't even stick to this filming style for 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. They ditched it, and yeah, you could hear the guys were screaming, and it was
and like the horses and the gunshots.
What happened? You could have gone so full in on this.
If they would have gone full in on it, like I was like, you don't even need to be doing the like old timey, like this is what they said, and then we cut to the action. Like you didn't have to even need to do that.
I didn't mind it,
but like you did it. So like I don't know why you didn't just stick with it, because as soon as you start having like the sound and everything, I don't know why, but I'm just like, you're betraying the thing that you set up. And I would have actually enjoyed that more if you just would have kept it silent.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
It's just such a weird choice.
Yeah.
And also, I gotta say that I feel like these flashbacks, if this was a show that had more episodes and had more time to breathe and like focus in on the characters of these flashbacks, the end of the show where it shows her getting the powers and she's an echo through all of her, I could feel, I can see how that could be a really powerful moment.
Right.
But I don't know any of these characters. I don't spend time with them for more than like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to care and feel this like long lineage of ancestors and powerful women, but I don't actually like some of them I see do cool things. And if anything, the girl in the one that we're currently talking about, like she was the one that I could connect with the most, because she had that that disagreement between her and her father about her wanting to be like a warrior. And so like I could feel stuff like that, but anyways, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like the flashbacks just didn't really do what I feel like they wanted to do.
I agree, and I think it would have, like, I don't know, maybe you just said it, but like I think it would have made the scenes where, like, you know how in a fight scene where like she'll like throw a punch and like it'll flash back to the ancestor who's doing the exact same thing or something. That, I mean, they did it too much, I feel, but I think even if they had toned it down, like it would have been served so much better if we had gotten to like really care about those ancestors.
Exactly.
But we don't, like, I don't care. So why would I care about you like repeatedly flashing back during a fight scene to people I don't care about?
Right? Exactly.
I totally agree. Funny enough, I don't know if you realize I wrote notes for this, so I do have like a lot of notes that are just like, why did they choose to do this? You know, like that makes no sense. You know, like
let me hear them.
So when she gets kidnapped in the beginning, why is she still in town? She completed her mission. Why is she just walking on a trail alone? There's no reason.
Wait, explain.
So remember, she got kidnapped to like go to the bowling alley, and she was just walking along that trail, and then like her ancestor pops up in front of her, and then she gets kidnapped.
I don't know if I remember.
Yeah, but like after episode 2, she had done what she had accomplished in Oklahoma. So like, why was she still there in Oklahoma? I don't know. And then at the bowling alley, they tried to make her friend Bonnie like think that everything was fine, and then they just kidnapped her anyways. And I was like, well, I was like, what the hell was that?
That scene was so, because I know exactly what you're talking about,
right?
Because they made such a big deal about hey, fucking make sure this is cool.
Yeah, and then she goes back out to her car and then just follow her. I'm just like, what? What was the whole point of that scene?
They kidnapped her anyways,
right?
Because of they didn't trust her, which, like, yeah, you shouldn't have.
Right.
That scene just should have never happened.
Correct.
That scene would only work well if it was either written in a way that made it seem like everything was fine, or if the character, you actually thought that the character would be like, oh yeah, okay, see, like it's like a comedic relief character or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only excusable.
And also, when Echo's trying to break out from that room she's in,
why would they give her the boot?
Sure.
Okay, so something else. Okay.
But she's building that contraption.
That's stupid. Yeah.
And she's like firing it off like at least 2 to 3 times.
Hey, and the woman hears it.
And I was like,
So you're
she's
just not gonna check?
banging away at stuff back there, and it's an open air, like there's no solid wall covering up muffling sound. I'm like, this woman's an idiot.
Yeah.
Which, like, sure, they show her as like, you know, like country, like, oh, I'm country and I'm kind of dumb and, you know, like sort of character, like, you know, but that. I'm like, fine. I guess we all just can't hear what she's doing, and we don't care.
Well, yeah, Echo can't hear, so no one else can, you know.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The rest of the episode, I didn't have any like major flaws. I just like the bowling alley fight scene was okay, but like the shining part of that episode was Kingpin showing up at the end and being like, hey, how you doing? You know, just all menacing, and that was great.
Yeah, that's. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I can move on to episode 4 if you want to.
Well, yeah, and then episode 4. I don't know why this stuck with me, but like he's like, I thought we could have a Sunday family dinner,
right?
And then she signs, it's Tuesday, and I was like, oh my god,
like you're really gonna take him literally? Okay, great.
But just like I feel like it was supposed to be sarcastic, but it just like I was like, oh my god, this is such a stupid line.
But you can't tell like how you can't tell sarcasm.
Well, but like good American Sign Language, like good dialogue. Because I've seen like I was watching like The Sound of Metal,
like good facial expressions, right?
Facial expressions. Just the way that words are structured, whatever, like it could come across.
Sure,
and
like
it just
emphasis
wasn't.
with like hand movements, right.
But like I will say that the actress that plays Echo, she does have facial expressions.
Sure.
But it's very hard to tell sometimes if she like the nuance.
Yeah, what
like,
she's feeling.
Like because I'm like a lot of time it's kind of stoic, mean, you know, face.
Cold, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I still think Child, Maya or whatever her name is, kills it. I love that. I saw it in the trailer for the
Child,
for the most part. Yeah, but like that opening scene of episode 4, I thought was fantastic. I
know, it's so sad. She just wanted the ice cream, and he just like even the way that she ran away. I was like, oh, like I actually felt something, which I was like, oh, cool, I'm feeling something. And if I was Kingpin, I probably would do. I don't know if I'd beat a man to the
to the point of death almost, right? But no, I loved all of it. I loved that Maya saw it all. I love that she went over and kicked the guy. I think it was great, especially on Vincent D'Onofrio's end. I think him like realizing that she witnessed this horrific act was very cool. But yeah, and then we switched to like this part during the the blip or whatever you want to call it, like the 5-year period where everyone blipped.
Sure.
Yeah, so there was the scene in 2021 where he's like, oh, I've taught you all I can. Like you've had your like the final. This is your final lesson, and then he kills the interpreter, and I'm like, so you're just not gonna speak to her like ever again? Like what was the point? Like were you just gonna hire another interpreter? I mean, he never hires another interpreter, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
And
that was
so
a weird choice,
right? So basically, like. 5 years have gone by at least, and she's just like, he is just now giving her this tech where she can see like him talk and like the hand movements like appear like on his hands, like for sign language.
Which by the way,
I honestly love the tech. It sounds like you don't love the tech.
I like the idea of the tech, but it looks cheesy as fuck.
Oh, really? I thought it made sense. I thought
it looked cheesy.
I thought it looked good. But yeah, that's just me. I don't know. Like I could see that like actually existing, you know?
No, I think that would be great if they could do that.
Right.
And you know, whatever, if it looked cheesy, I think it'd be great. But how do you feel about I have the idea that eye patch thing he's wearing is actually like regrowing his skin.
Maybe. I honestly feel like it's more though that like I thought like from episode 1 that she had actually shot him like fully in the eye. But no, they just they copped out and it looks like she just grazed his eye. So
but she shot him in the head.
Right, but apparently it was like 5% of his head and not not like the dead center for some reason. I don't know. It makes zero sense. Yeah. I'm bummed that they copped out that hard. Yeah. And oh, that was a strong part of this episode. Once Kingpin leaves, she goes and talks with her grandmother. And I thought that conversation was pretty strong until like Maya just abruptly leaves. But yeah, I like, just like you were saying earlier, the grandmother's just like one of the strongest parts of the show. And yeah, and even in that dialogue where it's mostly just the grandma, like it's strong as hell.
Yeah, and I think she's the same grandma in Killers of the Flower Moon, which I watched.
Oh, really?
And
nice.
She's different
that would
role,
make sense.
Very different kind of role.
Right.
But very good.
I hated the fact that she felt compelled to make an outfit for Maya.
At first I was like, why?
Right.
But then with the powwow, I was like, well,
it was just
okay.
I think it's been done so many times in like superhero stuff where like, oh, we gotta make the costume now. I don't even know like if I have an easy solution to how to fix this, but maybe just don't even give her an outfit. Like maybe don't even give her like a superhero type outfit. Maybe make her more like a Luke Cage type where she just has a signifying like shirt and pants and you just roll with that. But like I did not think she needed that outfit.
Sure.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, so you called it earlier in the season. Her goal the whole time was to become Queen Pin, right? But why would that be her goal if like she is so disgusted by everything Kingpin does, right? Like it doesn't make sense. It like no. You're actively trying to destroy him because of what he is, but then you're trying to become him. Like what? I don't know. It just I don't know. Made no sense.
Nope. Did not. Nope.
Yeah. I liked the hotel room scene. Vince's acting was good. But again, makes no sense why she wouldn't just choose to kill him if that was her whole goal the entire time. Yeah. I mean, I get it that she wants to earn it maybe, but that's stupid in itself.
Sure.
And I don't know if you noticed, but they changed the hammer from the Daredevil show that he used.
Yeah, I felt like it looked different.
It's a different hammer. Yeah. But yeah, that was episode 4. And then we get into episode 5 where we get another flashback scene with where she kills a bird.
Oh yeah.
And that's when we realized that her mother was a literal healer. Like she had literal powers of healing. And Maya just never like questioned it once.
Nope.
Like never thought, hey, I should ask anybody in my family about this. Nah. Yeah. We get that scene I was talking about earlier with the grandmother and the grandfather having a nice moment together.
Yeah.
Giving her back the sewing machine that she wanted him to sell. Yeah, and then I was bummed that Maya threw away the eye contact that she just got. And I was like, so you're just gonna like just to spite Kingpin, just like actively make yourself worse.
Well, but here's the thing. From what I think is the technology is because when she starts talking to like her cousin or uncle or whoever the fuck, he's still signing to her the whole time, and she could easily be like, "Oh no, I can understand you," but I think it only works if the other person has the other contact, because like the contact either is picking up his voice information and then relaying it. Like, I don't know how the contact would work, but I don't think.
But it worked on other people, you know. Like,
no, they only ever used that the contact between her and.
Are you sure?
King. Yeah, because she still had it and was signing with, and the guy was still signing. Like her family member was still signing.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes a difference then, because I'm like, well, think about how much that contact would have helped if like she had it in the bowling alley, you know, like. She was like looking at those three who just kidnapped her, and she had no idea what they were saying. And I was like, oh, the contact would have been perfect there. But no, no. But like, if it's just a two-way thing, then I get it.
Because like he's hearing her.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't ever think that technology will exist.
Right. Since you would have to have like two users. Right.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's neat. Yeah. Yeah, so, and then, wait, oh shoot, I lost my spot. There are times in the show, yeah, like again, you know, I brought it up earlier, but there's just times in the show where like Maya doesn't do anything, you know, like after episode 3 where she just stuck around, and then now in episode 5, she decides not, like episode 4, she decides not to kill Fisk, and then she just goes to a restaurant and has a meal, and you're just like, what's your plan? Like, so you're not going to kill Fisk, and you don't want him alive, and you want to be Queen Pin, but now let's just go out to eat.
You know,
like,
I think
everyone's got to eat, I guess.
I think the thing that really makes me not feel invested in the show is probably what you're saying right now, which is I don't know what Maya's motivations are. I don't know what the show's about. Yeah,
totally agree. The show just has such a lack of direction. It's ridiculous.
It doesn't know what its main character journey is.
Right. And so like I was confused when like her mom like healed her from beyond the grave. I was like, has Maya been hurting this whole time? Like, is she like going through something that I'm not like aware of? Yeah, I don't know. It was just odd. And yeah, but then, you know, we finally get to the powwow scene, and yeah, it's boy, that whole scene where, you know, I don't know if you're cool just skipping like straight to that where like Kingpin like comes in and like they meet at the very end.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but like, boy, there I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Basically, like I thought it was a guarantee that one of those family members
we're gonna die. Yeah,
right. Because like it's basically like literally it's Kingpin or them. Like that's what it is. And then, you know, and then she gets like, you know, she builds up, she's getting those powers, and then, but you know, and then
she's charging, she's fucking charging.
Like, I don't know. Somebody said like that they thought that she had like also like she was also sharing her powers with like her cousin and grandmother. But I was like, I think those two also just got it awoken. I think they're also a part of this lineage.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, like she's building up. I think there's even a point where like I can't exactly remember, but like she's touching Kingpin, and like I think they're also like the two of them are still restrained, and I'm like, why is no one shooting if she is doing like a direct attack to like Kingpin the boss? Like what is going on? Like why is there such like this gigantic plot hole where like no one just wants to act and do anything? And then once, you know, like Kingpin goes in that vision, he's like, what did you do? And then just runs.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? That's your response to you realizing Maya has powers and she unlocks something in you, you're just gonna run. It was
I thought
the
like
weakest
the
thing that
guy
story could have done.
like guys kind of like dragged him away or something. Am I remembering that wrong?
It didn't seem like that to me. Like like he was screaming like, "What did you do to me?" And then it just kind of cut him like outside, like running to his car. And I was like, "What?" So that's how both of them get to survive. He just gets to like run away.
Maybe the scene went, "What did you do to me?" And like it's just like quiet. And then he gets up off his knees and he just like starts walking to his car.
I would love that so much.
Or like he's just like, "What did you do to me?" And she's like, And
and so like we don't
I
ever
guess
get
I'll go.
a confirmation that like she also healed his heart or anything like that. But it's
like
rough,
the thing is like with the character, like, okay, he wants to run for mayor. We see that,
which I think is it's a nice scene. I think it's good. You set up the next Marvel shows, whatever. I think it's good. Yeah,
and I like the plot line of Kingpin running for mayor. I think it's a good one. It ties into Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah,
it's good.
Probably can tie into Spider-Man too if we want.
But I don't for a second think that they're gonna keep Kingpin as like, oh, I'm a good guy. I'm healed.
Not a chance. Yeah. So like, what was the point of that scene then?
And it like yes, there was a part of him that like wanted maybe to be a good guy, but it wasn't like necessarily like it wasn't shown, or I didn't really feel like there was a part of Kingpin that was wanting to make amends, I guess. Like it just was strange that the climax of the show was let me heal Kingpin from his childhood abuse. Potentially.
Potentially. I mean, like that's what her power's supposed to do, but we didn't ever see that happen. So like, what are we supposed to gather from that? Because it's not like any of the Marvel properties have much continuity lately, you know?
And I mean, if you keep Kingpin as just like a good guy, it's like the same thing with Smart Hulk. I don't want it anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's not going to happen because he's the antagonist of Daredevil. So I literally don't understand the point of the show, and the fact that they're like planning for the future of Echo along with like the street level of the MCU is just disappointing. Like I don't get how the viewership could tell you, this show is in demand, you know, or like the critics or the ratings, any of it. I don't get it. Like they say they're prioritizing stronger and like more established properties, but
I think this show though was like, okay, we made it.
Agreed, but if you're gonna plan for Echo to keep like reappearing, I think that's a problem. I think that goes against what they're saying, you know?
Do you think that they included Echo into that conversation though?
From what I hear, that's what I heard last, is that like Echo is like the first point now of like the MCU's like new street level, and that she'll probably reappear.
Okay. Well. Oh well.
So who knows? Maybe they'll get their senses, but I doubt it with Marvel. So yeah.
But overall,
pretty bad show.
Look, it wasn't like the worst thing I've seen in Marvel, and it's not.
Is it the worst show?
No,
for Marvel?
It's not the worst show.
Yeah, it's not. It's close.
It's close.
But there are two shows that I think are worse. Surprisingly,
I would say, Hawkeye is potentially worse.
Yeah, I couldn't say that.
I would say Secret Invasion is worse.
Secret Invasion and She-Hulk, I would say, are worse.
Oh yeah, She-Hulk. God, yeah,
yeah.
I would rather watch. I would rather watch Echo. No, I take that back. I do think I like Hawkeye better than Echo.
Yeah,
I did.
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah,
because Kate Bishop was like an actual character.
Yes, and I enjoyed a lot of parts of Hawkeye still, but yeah, I have no want to ever revisit She-Hulk or Secret Invasion.
And now Echo. I have no want to revisit this.
But like I would much I could see myself watching Echo. I don't think I could see myself rewatching Secret Invasion.
I think the only reason I would rewatch Echo at this point is like if somebody hadn't seen it and I just wanted to show them all like the Kingpin stuff. Right. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. But that's far between the like the.
But at that point, you could just look it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't you want like some context, you know, to the story? I don't know. It's not good context, so you got a point. But yeah, I think that's our.
You could pause the YouTube video and then be like, "This, so this is what happened." You go, "Okay," and then you play the video.
True. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about this. At this point,
it's over. It's done. I got one more thing to finish, and that's the Marvels, and then I'll be caught up.
There you go. And then, yeah, we don't have another TV show for Marvel for a little bit, right?
At least a year. Unless we do X-Men.
No, I mean, we have. Oh, that's true. We have X-Men. Okay. I don't think we'll do X-Men, but we might do, like, there's other shows coming out this year. So
what?
Like I know the Wakanda thing I think is coming out this year. And I think the Peter Parker like freshman year, Spider-Man freshman year might be coming out this year.
Okay.
So it's possible. But yeah, so I mean, but those are both animated as well. So
sure.
A lot of animation this year, I think. Yeah, but I think let's move on to some trailers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we got a very cool trailer earlier this week for the movie Boy Kills World.
Yep.
That's starring Bill Skarsgård and
being narrated by H. John Benjamin, who you might know as the voice of Bob's Burgers and Archer.
And the DVD store guy from Family Guy. That's him as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was such an interesting choice. I'll have to say.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
I think I'll say the action looks great. I love the action. The action looks sick. I think it does in a couple spots, but like I don't know. I think I was a little unimpressed by a lot of it. Like it seemed pretty basic, like a lot of the moves that were happening. I don't know. But go on. But I think the action was really cool. I think Bill Skarsgård looks pretty dope, and I like the idea of his character being is he deaf, right? Or he can't talk.
Mute.
He's mute.
He's just mute. Right?
Okay, yeah. He's mute.
But he might be both. I don't know.
And I think I think potentially what could be happening is the movie is just not geared in a way that a trailer is going to do it justice, you know? Like it's such a weird idea of a movie where you have this guy who killed, there's a guy who killed freaking
there's a family that killed his family, right? Like the Vander Walls.
Yes. Right. Like this yeah. Like this preppy wealthy family kills Bill Skarsgård's mom or his family, right? And he becomes a mute, and so he starts to, get really buff and like vow to kill them, and then he decided to make a narrator for since he can't talk, he'll have a narrator for his own mind, and that happens.
Like the final step is like him getting a team, and
yeah, and I think I don't think it's going to be for everybody at all.
I mean, it might not even be for me.
And I could still see it not working for me too, just because of how strange it is with having H. John Benjamin voice Bill Skarsgård like inner monologue, but it could also be the best thing ever.
Like I don't know. I think I need I like the weird concept in a way of like the narrator and this mute person, but I think everything surrounding it is like weirdly a little simple for me. Like I want something like a little more interesting, complex, like just some revenge story that has a comedy spin, set in a weird kind of future. I don't know. It's okay. Like it's not the most exciting. But maybe it all comes together and the action would be great. And I like a lot of the actors in it. So the main villain looks like it's like the actress who played Jean Grey from X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a possibility. This could be good, but I just feel like I need more.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely see that, and I'll say like John Wick, the first trailer. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of people were too crazy. Nobody really thought it was going to be very good.
Right. Because it just looked like some generic action movie.
Right. And I'm hoping that this movie will have that interest and make you want to hate the people so that he does get revenge and like they do something really terrible. And hopefully the H. John Benjamin thing like works,
Yeah, because it sounds like you would hear him the entire movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I definitely am gonna see it because I do think it looks good. Right. I'm just curious if it'll actually work though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is a weird concept. But I'm here for it.
But like maybe not weird enough in a way, like it's a weird concept, like that one concept, but like I said, like the rest of it, like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that the weird thing is the thing that I wish that they maybe would take out and replace with something else is H. John Benjamin potentially.
Right. Yeah.
He's the thing that I'm like, okay, I love him, but is it gonna work for this movie? We'll see.
But I would say like that being like such a weird choice is like
it's intriguing.
Like half the reason I would go see this movie,
Yeah.
So,
but I would see the movie just because I think the action and the world seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I can get that, but I don't know. It didn't sell me, I guess.
It didn't sell you. It's okay.
Yeah, no, like I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna see it though. Like I would see it.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd say let's get to our other trailer. Very different tone than this one. From M. Night Shyamalan called The Watchers.
Now it's not his movie.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
But he's a producer on it.
Okay, because this felt like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, didn't it?
Yes.
Heavy twist. It looks like at like every turn, possibly. A lot of mystery. Basically, the concept, from what I gather, is that there are 4 women in this room, and they all say that they are like lost, possibly. Like I don't know what that technically, maybe like lost in their way of life. I don't know. But it sounds like they like woke up here without knowing how they got there, possibly. And there's a wall with a mirror, and they believe on the other side is a window watching them.
Yeah.
And from what we can gather, it sounds like aliens, like monsters on the other side, something that's watching them. Yeah, I think that concept is pretty cool. I think there's so many mysteries that I want answered just from that alone. Like why do they feel like they need to watch people? Like why, how did they get kidnapped? Why are they lost? Yeah, I think the writing has a lot of potential in this movie that I'm excited about. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's I thought the trailer was a very well done trailer. It was very creative, like the tapping on the glass. Every single time she tapped, she'd see them, but outside in the forest.
Right.
And I thought that was interesting. I thought it was cool seeing Dakota Fanning in something again. Like that was really cool. She's the girl with the blonde hair.
Didn't even realize.
Oh, well, that was Dakota Fanning.
Cool.
And the plot or the synopsis is a young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland, where after finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside 3 strangers stalked by mysterious creatures each night. And yeah, they're like you have like the phone that's getting distorted. They're driving in. I think like the trailer's shot very beautifully and creepily. Like I love how the forest is shot. I love like the brutalist shelter, whatever you want to call it, that they're
I'm wondering
in.
how they get out of this shelter, because it doesn't look like there's any doors, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that she's an artist. I feel like that's definitely going to play into it somehow.
Sure. Like her sanity could be like driven more to like the point of insanity, because like there's no stimulation, there's nothing like on the walls, you know? Like I feel like that would kill an artist.
But yeah, maybe. And yeah, like there's a hole in the ground. We don't, I don't know where that's about. Dragging this person down.
I thought that was the one scene that I was like, that's like it's just a cheesy horror movie. Like, yeah. But other than that, you know.
And then he's like, like, don't you want to? She says, don't you want to know who they are? And then he like, goes down. And
he's like, that's impossible. And I was like,
yeah, that's impossible. And I'm like, there at this point, the only thing that I'm kind of not nervous but skeptical about is I want to be like, oh my God, whoa, what a plot twist, and like or there'd be layers to it, and you're like, oh my God, like I love this movie. There's so many different things to take apart. But after watching like enough thrillers and movies like this
movies.
and stuff that M. Night Shyamalan attaches himself to.
Agreed.
Sometimes the premise and the trailer is shot in a way that's like, oh, that's cool. But then like we saw with Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, Knock at the Cabin. Yeah.
It wasn't really there. I do, in fact, like Old, but I still like at the end of Old, I wasn't like, holy shit.
I think the twist for Old like is like, oh, well that could make sense. Yeah. You know, it's not insane, you know.
And even like Servant, which I do like that show, even though it gets kind of tedious, which M. Night's attached to that as well. Like there's just a thing that it's like, there's an interesting idea, but is the execution there? I'm hoping like this is really good.
Yeah.
And I want to know who they are watching. I want to know who they are, obviously.
For sure.
But I'm just dubious that it's like going to actually like amount
that
to
it's
something
surface level, and
that I'm just nervous. That's all. Yeah. But I think
I agree. I had the same thought.
I think the idea is, and the fact that you are like interested in watching this is like kind of is interesting to me, because like I just feel like this is a movie that like you maybe not want to watch.
Agreed. I think I have like a fear of like the like maybe not supernatural, but like just things being like unknown, I guess. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but like this is right up that alley. But I think when horror goes like kind of sci-fi-ish, like I'm intrigued, and I think I kind of like am assuming that these creatures are more like alien than monster, but I could be wrong. I feel like they're probably more monster than alien.
They might be like mythical creatures.
I mean, even that's cool, to be honest.
But I remember when I told you, like, there's that movie, no one's going to save you, and it's on Hulu, and it's like a break-in, like a home invasion movie, but it's aliens.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if you can handle that, I feel like you should watch that movie.
Is that like an actual horror?
It's like more thriller than horror, but
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could potentially watch.
But there's
it.
like horror vibes to it for sure.
Right.
You know, like if an alien, a big gray alien, was like the monster, you know?
Yeah, but I have to say, like even Nope, like the concept of that, where it was like,
yeah,
if it was actually an alien, I think I would have been like, even like a traditional gray alien. I think in a way that's like more terrifying than what we got. You know, I think like menacing intentions behind like a traditional like creepy ass like alien is really like intense.
Yeah, I mean that scene in the barn where those kids are the ones that are dressed up as aliens, but you don't know that.
Oh my gosh, that was so intense.
That was one of the best parts of that movie. And I will say, like, the Jordan, I know we're getting off topic, but the Jordan Peele, like the UFO being an actual like animal, you know, kind of is a really cool take. I'm not going to lie. It's a really interesting idea. But that's another movie that I'm like, it just didn't, for me, I know there's a lot of people that love Nope, but for me, I don't feel like it had that interesting like premise, but then it just
didn't go all the way.
Yeah. You know, and we've talked about Nope like a bunch. So
no, yeah, I probably like Nope more than you.
Yeah. We should, you know what? Maybe we should do like a segment sometime where we like rewatch movies and like give opinions about them again.
Like we pick a movie each week and then
potentially, yeah. That could be cool.
Could be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not each week. That might be a little hard, but like maybe every like 2 to 2 weeks or every month or something.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Because that would be one of them that I would like. I'd be like, I could be down to talk about that one again. Yeah, no,
really, okay.
Just like I just want to watch it again and but
just see if your opinions change at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our opinions on those two trailers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I say, let's go to our next topic here. Some drama that we mentioned earlier. We mentioned it a few weeks ago in the podcast where, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal wanted this movie released in theaters and they weren't going to let that happen.
Well, the director.
Sir, both of them. Yeah.
But then there was the drama that Jake Gyllenhaal came out and said, well, no, they did, you know, actually say like that it was always going to be released digitally and in streaming. And then you're like, okay, what is actually going on?
Right. But now it's come out that because this property was, I guess, in danger of like if it doesn't release in time, it was in danger of like releasing to like just back to like the original rights. Like they wouldn't have the rights anymore, basically Amazon. And because of that, there's reports that they used AI to finish the dialogue of some of this movie to get it out in time. So they didn't release the rights back to the original owners, which is a little scary, I think, for a lot of people, especially if like you watch this movie and like you can't even notice. But I think there's like clear like moral and I don't know what else, but obviously why Amazon shouldn't have done this. There was a strike going on at the time. You shouldn't have been working on a movie at all.
Well, but not that I'm in defense of like big $1 billion, quadruple million dollar studios, Amazon. But I do have some thoughts, and one of them, I think it sucks, and I don't like it that they use AI, if it's true that they used AI voices to finish up a movie because they couldn't have the actors, but it was a writers and actors strike. So technically, they didn't do anything. Like, the agreement was not signed. They are not at fault for doing that.
Sure,
it just sucks.
And here's the thing. I would assume that they don't have permission from like the actors in the movie to digitally recreate their voices.
But there's no laws that are made to do that.
But that's exactly what the actors were fighting during the strike, though.
I know,
so,
but they
look. I get it. It's not illegal, but it's like obviously like
upsetting.
Amazon morally sucks for doing that.
But here's the other thing. That thing about the original writer of Roadhouse, who goes by Lance Hill, he is saying that I made the original movie on a spec script, and I had an exclusive deal with my company and Amazon, and that if they didn't get it finished in time, it would revert back to me.
Right.
Now, that could be true, but it does seem in this article that I was reading from the Los Angeles Times that it was, in fact, he was hired under contract to write the script. Therefore, foregoes all rights to it.
Is this like director just lying at his ass? Like, what's going on?
This is the screenwriter from the original Roadhouse.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
I don't know, but either he is like, oh, I see all this controversy going on, and I'm gonna try to I'm gonna say this bullshit that's not true to make money, or he is in fact telling the truth, because he did hire a lawyer who has dealt with this stuff in the past. So
like copyright stuff or something.
Yes. I'm trying to find who. So I guess his last name is Toberoff. And he handled the stuff with against cases against Marvel Studios with the heirs of creators of Marvel characters like Thor, X-Men, Black Panther. He also represented Steve Ditko with Spider-Man and all these comic book characters. So he did copyright cases for Friday the 13th, and also stuff with Jerry Siegel, who created Superman. So if this guy's taking it on, there could be something to it. But I don't know. It's just
confused. How
there's fucking drama, Ian.
Right. I'm just confused how there's a case there. Are they arguing that they weren't in the right to use AI to try and finish it before the rights revert? I don't know.
So the dispute, so odd. What it says is the dispute between Hill and Amazon centers in large part on whether Hill wrote the original screenplay, quote unquote, on spec, which would mean that
the original movie screenplay?
The original movie screenplay. Okay. With plans to pitch it to movie studios once he finished the script, or if he was under contract to United Artists. So he was under contract to write a movie for them, which then he wrote the movie, he got paid for it. He doesn't own the rights to it. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it.
Correct, right.
And it says that United Artists entered into a literary purchase agreement with the writer's personal company. And it said Hill had neither an employment nor contractual relationship with United Artists when he wrote the screenplay. Rather, United Artists attained the 1986 grant from Hill well after the screenplay had been completed. I don't know who's got the rights, but this drama is fucking insane.
Yeah. I'm glad the movie was a smaller budget than a lot of Hollywood movies. Since
sure.
I don't know how well this is going to do for Amazon. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the drama is somehow weirdly attracting people or that are going to watch it now. So I don't know.
Sure. I mean, like, it's like we said like earlier, I can't think of another drama recently or in the past that I can remember besides like Don't Worry Darling, where it was just like, oh my God, the fucking shit show behind this. Like the behind the scenes has become more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah.
Which I will say after watching Don't Worry Darling is in fact true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think, you know, with what the director's saying, I don't know if he's lying. I don't know if Amazon's being a piece of shit. I don't know if the screenwriter is like lying out of his ass too. All I know is somebody's got to be fucking bullshitting somebody. And it's just so sad because I don't know. If Amazon's, and let's say like Amazon did have the rights, you know, but they still decided to use AI to finish this movie, which is within their rights currently.
It still makes no sense. Like for them, like if there was nothing that like they needed to race against the clock for,
which
then they're even worse. Like they're like that's ridiculous.
If it's true, I think it's really disgusting. Yeah, like I understand it's your money. You are putting money to make this product and whatnot, but it's just like I'm like wondering, like, is there a part of people that doesn't like, and it must be that they're like, I just like it. Yeah, it doesn't feel weird to them. They're like, yeah, well, if we can, because I think it's just like, we'll cut the costs, maybe potentially, I don't know, but. It's
and to your point, I think people will feel weird about it. I think there's going to be people morally now who won't go see this movie because there's AI in it. So this could very easily hurt it.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything that's been going on could potentially hurt it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was interested in watching it, and now I'm kind of like, now I'll say like I don't think a vast majority of the population even knows any of this stuff is going on, and they're gonna say, "Oh, there's a Roadhouse remake." Okay, but it does make me like, just I kind of don't even want to watch the movie because I'm like, all this fucking drama with this movie is like insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, another piece of news here today that I think might be just as interesting. We are getting a Bob the Builder movie.
Yes, we are.
And it's what is it? Directed. Jennifer Lopez is involved.
Jennifer Lopez and Anthony Ramos.
Yeah. From what I read, I think he's going back to like Anthony Ramos is going back to like his home country of like Puerto Rico. Yeah. And what? So did it say what he's doing in Puerto Rico? Just like rebuilding a home or something, or what?
The film follows Roberto, aka Bob,
right,
who travels to Puerto Rico for a major construction job and digs deeper into what it means to build.
Yeah. It's so odd because I feel like this is somewhat in line with like, you know, like we're getting like a Barney movie, and we're getting, you know, like a serious Barney movie, and we're getting Barbie. We got Barbie, and we're getting like you know, a Hot Wheels movie, and I think this is somewhat in line. Bless you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
This is somewhat in line with that, but I feel like it doesn't work as well as like Barbie or what I can assume with like the Barney movie. Because like with both of those, I feel like they're going all in on what like makes them like what makes those properties, right? But like with Bob the Builder, I can't say I recognize any of what I saw as a very little kid in that movie concept. Like that just sounds like they like that studio got the script for another movie and they're just like, oh, we could use this for Bob the Builder. And
maybe, yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like the most authentic. I don't know. That's just the vibe I'm getting. I don't think this could work as well as the movies I just mentioned.
Yes, I agree with you. And here's the thing. I don't know if this is live action or if this is animated.
It's gotta be.
It's got to be live action.
I think so. I think
because
it is.
It says that it's in a bidding war with Netflix, Amazon, and DreamWorks.
I mean,
so does that mean that if it got bought by like Netflix or Amazon, it has the potentiality to be live action, but if it got bought by DreamWorks, it's animated? Or are they all under the impression that it's animated?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how that works per se, but I feel like, you know, like you could buy a script and then choose to animate it, right? Or choose to do live action. I don't feel like it has to, like the actors are locked in. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jennifer Lopez and Anthony Ramos would drop out if it was animated. I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. I think if you animate it, you have the potential for it to be much more similar to the cartoons. So I think that's preferable to me. But I don't know.
I kind of want to see what this concept is in live action though.
Sure.
I think, I mean, look, I do think that it's somewhat in line with the show building. What does it mean to build? I guess like there could be some metaphor there. Like
sure.
Like when Barbie got announced, I don't think most people in the world were like,
no,
hey, we're going to talk about what it means to be a woman and masculinity and you know, all this stuff. Right. And I don't even know what the Barney movie is necessarily going to entail. You know, I think maybe some like jadedness and like, you know, the Hot Wheels. What, you know, what script is going to be like, oh, this really speaks to the brand of Hot Wheels.
I mean, I just think Hot Wheels is going to be like an action racing movie. I think that's what it is, you know.
Watch it be like a movie about a father and his son.
I think that would be the biggest mistake Hot Wheels could make.
Watch you cry at the Hot Wheels movie, Ian.
There's no way I cry at the Hot Wheels movie. I don't know. That would be wild.
But, you know, I think it's pretty wild that it's in a bidding war. Yeah. And now the thing is, if it goes to Netflix or Amazon, there's a good chance it only stays streaming. If it goes to DreamWorks, I think it's almost guaranteed that it like gets a theatrical release.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
Obviously, I want it to have a theatrical release. Obviously, I want it to be good. Yeah. But I don't know.
And if it goes to Netflix, there's not a great chance of that.
I think it's interesting that like the take, I don't know if Bob is like, from what I remember when I was younger, I don't remember if like he is supposed to be white or.
I'm pretty sure.
But I thought he was.
I mean, his name's Bob.
But like. But and look, it doesn't bother me. I think I think it's interesting that it's like that it is like taking it into a Hispanic sort of story of some sort. And you know, to be fair, like they're like I don't know, like, yeah, when you think of like a lot of construction workers, there's a lot of Hispanic construction workers. And like I feel like this plays into it potentially. Like that's a very common job. And
but I wonder if people will like think of that as like representation or like racism in a way. Because you're like, well, that's stereotypical.
Yeah, no, it's a very thin line that I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you, which is like, yeah, what is I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Because
I mean, I'm not right. Yeah. Yeah. So
I could see it both ways very easily.
For sure. Yeah.
But I think like do I think a lot of guys whose name is Roberto go by Bob? No.
And do you think they're actually going to call this movie Bob the Builder? It just sounds like a ridiculous name for a movie.
Unless you want to call it The Builder.
That sounds way worse. The Builder?
Then Bob?
Like, I don't know. You could call it. You could just. I don't know. This is a hard movie to title. I think you gotta let people know it's based off Bob the Builder, but you can't really call it Bob the Builder.
Maybe they'll call it Roberto. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think they'll definitely call it Bob the Builder.
Yeah, that's most likely what it's going to be. It just sounds like ridiculous.
And then
it sounds like a ridiculous title for that type of movie, you know?
And like 3 years from now, we're going to see people like getting out of the, like on TikTok and like,
like, oh my God, it was so good.
Just got out of the Bob the Builder movie.
Yeah, I would love for that to happen. I really would.
Guys, but you are not prepared. It has such, oh my God, the representation.
Yeah, maybe it'll surprise us.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to some traditional news around here. We're gonna get into some DC stuff. We got basically a week ago, we got the first reveal, kind of on accident, that of the Superman logo. Basically, I think it was, I can't remember who it was exactly, but somebody took a picture of like their nameplate at the Superman table reading.
Yeah.
And so that had the Superman logo on it. And then as of like the day we're recording this, the actual like logo on the suit was revealed. And it
like
looks
a picture
like,
of the suit.
Right. Well, I only saw a picture of the logo like on the suit. I didn't get to see the full record.
Well, and that's what I meant. But
okay. Yeah. And so it looks like that the logo is like heavily based off of the Kingdom Come Superman version, which I'm really liking how it looks. I like how simple it is, but also very like, you know, very much a homage to that era, that issue or mini series, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and then we also got the news that Superman Legacy is now just Superman. Which I really like the Superman Legacy.
I know, I really like it too. Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad route to go. I think it's been a long time since we've had a movie just called Superman, and
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I get it. It's a little disappointing, but I'm not like,
it's a cool name.
Yeah.
But look, if it works better, look, if we get to July 2025 when the movie comes out and we feel the same way that James Gunn felt when he was writing his little, you know, social media posts about how like, well, when I was writing the script, I called Superman Legacy, and then, you know, as I finished it and we're getting close to the movie, he's like, well, it had to be just Superman.
Interesting.
Fine.
Okay.
But, you know, maybe we'll feel the same way.
Maybe the legacy aspect of Superman just wasn't a part of this movie.
Yeah,
I guess
maybe.
Which I think is fine. Like I don't need them to like combine like all the eras of Superman into one or anything. Like I don't even know if that's what he meant by legacy at one point.
I think he means more the lineage of Kryptonian, like his Kryptonian father and his.
Oh yeah, I think we had theorized that that's what it was kind of more leaning towards, which I think also would have been very cool, and I think it probably will like lean into that a little bit, but maybe not as heavily as he thought originally. I don't know. But yeah, I think what's like obviously really good news is this logo being based off of Kingdom Come. I love that. I love the fact that like a lot of the suits in that like miniseries are like the traditional like Justice League suits. I think it would be very cool to get like more of those in this universe where we get more traditional looking superheroes. Mm-hmm. And I think this heavily to me implies that you know, like the Authority are obviously going to be a big part of this universe, and it is rumored that they will appear in Superman now. Yeah, it's just Superman. And so I think that like that really plays into the Kingdom Come aspect, where in Kingdom Come, you know, I think I had talked about this on like one of our hypotheticals months ago, that where in that universe, you know, basically the Justice League has retired and the world is now kind of run like with you know, morally corrupt superheroes that don't have the same morals and standards of the Justice League. And so they have to come back into, you know, their duty and kind of, you know, fight what these heroes have been about for this whole time. Which I don't think it's going to obviously go into like Superman and the Justice League being retired. But I think like Superman and the Justice League clashing with other heroes, I think could be a huge theme, like to start off with. So
yeah, I mean that definitely, I think from everything that James Gunn has said, is going to be a big part of it. And I think I think I agree. Like I was saying, like a lot of what I think he's been basing this new universe off of is the 80s DC comics, which Kingdom Come eventually gets up to. I mean, Kingdom Come is in 1996. But it's I think Kingdom Come is something that they would build up to potentially. I don't think it's something that they would.
No, they definitely
just kind of like base off of like that idea. But I do think like, yes, I agree with you. There's going to be that clashing. I don't know if it'll be the traditional Kingdom Come sort of thing where it was the older superheroes like Superman and Wonder Woman, or whoever was on Superman's side was kind of like the old way, and then the world was kind of calling for like Shazam and these other heroes, newer, younger heroes, to kind of do things their own way that they thought was better, and then they'd both start coming to a head.
Right.
I don't know if that means like the Authority would take the place of somebody like a Shazam, you know? Maybe, but I think we can get like a better idea of what this universe is somewhat gonna be like, because you know those Alex Ross paintings, which look great.
Are you talking about the one that like James Gunn had posted a while back, or I
mean just all the ones from Kingdom Come, where they just kind of look like larger than life, like almost like Renaissance sort of paintings. Like they definitely seem more like skin tight, which I don't think this is going to be. You can clearly see in the logo, like it's kind of mesh like.
Sure.
I think it would be kind of. I wasn't going to put it past him, but I think it was kind of insane to think that he was going to like go kind of like more skin tight.
I definitely didn't want that level of traditional, but like I think the overall like designs, maybe like, you know, obviously do whatever you want with like layering and like depth, but like the overall designs I think should stay pretty similar.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I guess I am surprised that there isn't like black in the logo. I think I was assuming there was going to be black.
I think there could be at some point, but like let's like
no, I prefer it. I agree. Like I prefer the yellow. I think it makes sense to see Superman in yellow originally.
Yeah, I think you could get to that point, but I think to have Superman with the black, like maybe that's something he gets into when he's older. You know, like I think Superman with the black would be starting off. It would be a bold choice, but I think like I think audiences, they need familiarity with the DC brand and
agreed.
But the and I don't think that by any means, like the same way that Marvel does like Age of Ultron and it ends up not being anything like Age of Ultron, the same thing with Infinity War. It just takes bits and pieces from it. I think it's gonna be the same thing here. But I think it's you can gather an idea of how the characters and the universe is going to be leaning towards, especially when you have characters like people like Sean Gunn taking in like Maxwell Lord Lord back in the 80s and during kind of this time period that it was more of like, an ally and like kind of like the Nick Fury of the Justice League than, you know, like an adversary.
Right.
But eventually becomes one, which is a cool, you know, kind of
I would
thing
love to see
build
that
to.
arc. Right. Yeah.
But I think it's cool that like we get that logo, which is a new logo to see in live action, and I think like it's a cool one.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with all the news that's been coming out for this movie.
I just wish the legacy stuck, but like I said, if the movie comes out and it's and we're like, well, the legacy doesn't really make sense now, like, you know, which is probably is what I'm hoping for. Right. But like, I love the title Man of Steel. The title Superman, like it's good. It's just
I think it's a little bland. Yeah,
I just want a little spice, you know,
a little spice. Yeah, no, but I think it's the safer choice to go this route. So maybe that's a part of the reason he did it. I don't know.
Maybe,
but yeah, I got no complaints so far, to be honest. Well,
I just don't want like other movies to end up being like, instead of The Brave and the Bold, it turns into Bruce and Damian. You know, like I don't want Swamp Thing to be like Green Creature, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I definitely don't want more title changes, but I am decently okay with this one. So yeah, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last bit of news I think we're going to talk about here today is the news that Shang-Chi director Daniel Destin Cretton, is that his name?
Yeah.
Daniel, yeah. He's going to be directing now the live action Naruto movie that was announced a few months ago. I think you know, this conversation is probably happening like over and over again every few months with a lot of people, but like it's all of us screaming, please stop adapting things into live action when it's just not necessary. I think we all want Disney to stop. I think with anime, it's even worse. A lot of the time, the quality we get of live action, and I don't know. I think this, like, the director, he isn't a bad choice. Like, obviously, he knows martial arts. Like, obviously, like a big budget special effects martial arts movie came together and was good. I just don't believe that, like, one, the story of Naruto can be told in like a 2.5 hour movie, and
you're
two,
assuming it's 2.5 hours.
Sure. I mean, you know, you're right. I mean, it could be 3, it could be less. I don't know. Right. But any amount of time. I mean, like the story of Naruto took place over like 1,000 episodes. Like, how do you condense that into a movie? I honestly don't get that. And there's genuinely not a chance that the action and special effects look as good as the animated show. So, you know, yes, could it be cool to see some scenes recreated? Yeah, maybe. But like, is it worth it? Probably not. You know?
All right. So you brought up a lot of interesting, like, valid points, which I'm going to disagree with some of them.
Okay.
Now, I know I don't know very much about Naruto.
Right.
But that is not necessarily important with what I'm going to say, which is, look, all right, it is not necessary. It's never necessary to adapt something. There's a lot of people who love books who don't feel it is necessary to make that story into a movie or a TV show. And sometimes it does it really well, and other times people, and usually most of the time, they say, no, the book was better. And I feel like a lot of beloved properties, the first way you see it is the only way that you can see it. And any changes to it is like a disgrace, and they see it as less like the original thing wasn't good enough to begin with, which I think I respect that idea. And I know people love the original property, and they love it so much that like they feel so passionately about it. But you still have the show, and I know I have not seen One Piece, but a lot of people have been raving about One Piece.
No, but I think the reason they're raving about One Piece is because they're like, from what I hear about One Piece, is that they're respecting like the actual, original like show. Basically like they're like true to it, and they're not changing things at every turn. Like, and you mentioned Avatar. That's exactly what they're doing with Avatar. Like, I watched the first episode, and they have changed like key aspects.
Well,
I
didn't mention Avatar, but
you didn't. Oh my! No. I thought you mentioned.
You just have it on your mind.
I just have it on my mind. Yeah.
But like, look, and that's also fair. Right. And like, obviously, we saw how it was handled with M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar, but yeah, but who's to say that Daniel? I forget. I don't how to
Destin
say it.
Cretton, I think.
Yes, yeah. Destin Cretton. Well, who's to say that he doesn't stay true?
And Destin Daniel Cretton, sorry.
Destin Daniel Cretton. Who's to say he doesn't stay true? And I have no doubt in my mind that this is not going to be the entire story of Naruto. I think this is most likely going to be like something that they want to build franchises off of. And look, I think he did a great movie with Shang-Chi. I can clearly see the appeal of wanting him to do this movie. And I also think that it's interesting that he gets attached to this movie a couple months. We find out he's doing this movie a couple months after he decided to leave Avengers 5. So I don't know if he decided to leave Avengers 5 because there was issues with the script and whatnot, or if because he wanted to do this movie instead.
But he's still doing Shang-Chi too. I mean, he's attached to that.
Yes.
Look, I agree. Like, it's not gonna be all of Naruto, but I do believe it's hard to tell like the story of Naruto like as like a wrapped like story without like at least going through like there's the original Naruto, and then there's Naruto Shippuden. I think you have to at least tell all of Naruto in one story, and with that you're gonna have to cut a lot out. And I just think in general you're gonna have to cut a lot out, and I don't know how strong the story is at that point with just 2.5 to 3 hours at the most of Naruto. I mean, maybe they make sequels, but like, have we ever known a live action anime movie to get a sequel? No, like.
But this could be the start.
Maybe it could.
Look, we have had some pretty lackluster video game to movie adaptations
we have.
For a long time, but we are starting to get there. And I'm not saying that like that's going to happen with anime, but we've also had a lot of anime that's been, not always succeeding, but lately there's been more successful adaptations.
I only know one, but
I feel like I guess I'd have to look, but I just from what I'm like just been noticing with trends or people talking about stuff, like there just has been a bit more like I guess I'm just saying with the One Piece off the top of my head the most.
Yeah, that's the only one I know, right? That's been achieved well, right?
But I mean, there is I as much as I know you don't like Avatar and a lot of other people have been like not loving it, there's also an equal amount of people who have been having a really good time with it that I know. So there is a bit of a positive trend, and maybe this continues it. Maybe it goes back to not doing so well, and we'll get there eventually. But
yeah. Look, I think the only thing like positive I will say about this is that I don't think on a TV show budget this could look like acceptable, like compared to like the actual animated show. I think like if you're gonna do live action, like yes, this has to be a movie. I just think it's a huge challenge to adapt this into a movie. But maybe Destin Daniel Cretton can do something he did direct a hell of a martial arts special effects movie. So then that's exactly what Naruto would be. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm very, very hesitant with this one, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything we wanted to talk about this week.
Yep.
Have you been watching anything this past week?
I watched Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay.
Which
I don't know that.
is one of the movies up for Movie of the Year.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it is a French movie. It's not all in French, but there's a good amount of it that's in French.
Okay.
About basic premise. There's a wife, a husband, and their child. And they live in a mountainous, like the Alps kind of part of France. And the husband is found dead in the snow outside their house.
Okay.
And it's kind of a, it starts off as like a who did this? How did this happen? Did somebody do it? Did he do it to himself? And then there's like the family drama of it all. And then it turns kind of into a courtroom procedural. And it was really good. It was really, really good. I think whoever played the wife was like an incredible actress. And the courtroom scenes are just like, I love courtroom scenes. They're just
yeah, absolutely.
Courtroom dramas are my fucking shit. And so it was great. It was a great movie. I don't know. I wouldn't say that I would not give it Movie of the Year. After seeing a lot of the other movies that we've seen, but it is very well done. It's quite French.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's interesting. Like, the last French movie I saw also dealt with something similar when you learn about it, and it deals with it in a very like French way that I don't know how to like talk about without giving it away, but it's
sure.
It's a good one. It's a very good one. It's good.
Nice.
I also watched, oh my God, I finally watched Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, okay. How'd you like it?
And it's so fucking good.
Nice.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It was 3.5 hours, and I swear to God, it did not feel like 3.5 hours.
Nice. Okay.
And I felt like
that's what I was worried about.
I watched like, I really do. I felt like I got like my entertainment's worth. Like, if I sat in a movie theater, I was like, that was worth the money. Like,
good. Nice.
Very surprised that Leonardo DiCaprio did not get an acting nomination for this. I know that there's a lot of good actors up for it, but he was really good. Robert De Niro, I don't know, after watching this, like, I don't know if I would necessarily straight away give it to Robert Downey Jr. anymore.
Oh wow, like best supporting actor. Okay.
Like, Robert De Niro was amazing.
What I hear though is that Robert Downey Jr. has like a 98% chance to win.
Probably.
But yeah.
But it's crazy that people aren't talking more about Robert De Niro's performance, because I think if you take Oppenheimer out, like, this movie stacked. And the woman who plays his wife, Lily, oh God, I'll look it up.
The actress is Lily Gladstone.
Yeah, Lily Gladstone. She is, I don't honestly, the actress's race is like stacked. She was incredible. Like, nice. And the soundtrack was dope. There's actors I had no idea that were in this fucking movie. There's also like a courtroom drama to it.
Yeah.
At a point.
Right.
And also it's very interesting because it is a mob movie still. It's very much still a mob movie.
Right. Which is his bread and butter.
But it's done very interestingly. And
I believe that.
Yeah, I would without a doubt watch it again. It was really well done. It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I almost wish there was a role for Joe Pesci in this one, because that would have been beautiful. But no, I guess not.
Nah.
Um,
And then lastly,
yeah.
I rewatched Spirited Away, and what more can I say about Spirited Away? It's just like, it's a masterpiece.
It's a classic. Nice.
It was just beautiful.
Sounds like a good week in movies.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
a little jealous. Well, yeah. So I only watched. Let's see. You heard me talk about the live action. I watched the first episode, and here's the thing. I rationalized this because I didn't want to support this at all. So I knew our friend Jared was gonna watch it, and so I went over to their place and just watched it on their Netflix, because like I knew he was already going to. So I was like, all right, fine. This isn't technically like a watch. So, but yeah, that was rough to watch. Basically, the first episode goes over like the first three original like episodes of the show. And they pretty much remove like every single arc that's in the Southern Water Tribe, which is it's a pretty big bummer. I think they do that because they show so much of like Aang as an airbending kid, and then his Southern Air Temple getting destroyed by the Fire Nation. But it's just like, it's not worth it. Like, none of that is done like extraordinarily well. The action of the firebenders, kind of decimating the airbenders isn't great. It looks pretty cheesy at points. And I don't know. I just think there are like clear moments from the show where you're like from the original show where you're like, that is such a badass shot. And then they recreate it in the live action, and it's like 3 times as worse than the original. So, I'm not a huge fan, obviously. I think, and I get it, like they're kids, but like there are good kid actors, and Katara and Aang definitely fall short a lot. They definitely don't come off as kid or as goofy like as they were in the show. They're definitely trying to make it more serious. Yeah. There are a couple cool moments visually, but I think the show just loses so much scale. I think the original show is able to do and show more scale because it's, they're able to draw it and animate it, but now they're so limited to what's on screen that it just doesn't work as well. So yeah, that's my rant for Avatar. And I watched the first 3 episodes of the original right after, so that's why I have it so easily to compare. But yeah, and then finished the season of Go On that I was watching. It's a great season, but definitely leaves you wanting more seasons because it's not like the strongest of finales.
Right.
And then I've watched a few more episodes of Ted. That's been fun. I got two more episodes left of that. And I think that's all I've watched. I might be forgetting something, but I think that's about it. Yeah. Just
Nice.
a good week of TV shows. So like always, we want to thank you all for sticking around and watching and listening until the very end. If you would like to watch and listen again in the future, we like to release these episodes on Fridays and Saturdays. And if you would like to support us by obviously watching and listening, you can find the episodes on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and Spotify, and the video version on YouTube. If you want to give our social medias a follow, the links to our Instagram and TikTok are in the description. And if you want to support us one more time, we would always appreciate a like, a comment, a rating, a review, or a subscribe.
How did you bomb that so bad last week? And you did it so good this time.
it's my magic. I'm just the master of inconsistency. So
the master of inconsistency.
That's that's just my new name. That's all it is.
The MOI. Yeah.
The MO. That's good too. Yeah. The MOI.
All right. Well. All right. Until next time.